Welcome to Bad Teacher Tales, real talk, stories, and advice for teachers and those who love them. Each episode, Scara and Sly bring you the good, the bad, and the what the hell of daily teacher life. If we make you laugh, gasp, or question your career choices, hit like, share, and subscribe. Have a story to share? Link is in the notes. Drop it like a late assignment. All educational contributors are welcome, even our heroic custodians. You see everything and know the real dirt, so don't be shy. Send it in. These opinions aren't necessarily those of the hosts or Bad Teacher Tales. Some content may not be suitable for children. I know. Listener discretion advised. With Scara and her special guest, Jess.
Hello, Bad Teacher Tales family. I am Scara, and today we have a new guest co-host for you. This is my great friend, Jess.
Hello.
Will you tell everyone just a little bit about yourself?
This is my 13th year in education. First 10 of it was spent as an English teacher. Did all the things. Department head. Did that for a while. Loved it. But we kind of needed to make a little bit of a change if we were going to hang out in education.
Yes. So
soul searching. Principal, nah. Counselor, no. Librarian. Oh.
You like to read.
I do like to read.
So what other job can you just sit around all day and read? Because librarians don't do anything but sit around, right?
Exactly. And sometimes we say shush. That's important.
Okay. So the shushing, the sitting around, the glasses, the bun.
Yeah.
That's all you got to do, right?
That's all. And I spent $17,000 learning how to do that.
Excellent. So if you can't tell, we're being a little facetious because you were just telling me earlier that librarians often get the question of, what do you do all day?
Just like, what do you do all day? I drink coffee. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's it?
That's it.
Okay. So tell our audience what you actually do all day.
I call myself an instructional librarian. I'm more of a support, coaching, curriculum access.
I think what you're trying to say is you aren't the typical librarian that just sits at the desk, does the bare minimum, and goes home. You like to support the teachers because you were there. You help them with curriculum ideas, activities. You offer curriculum ideas, activities for students.
I do.
And then in between somewhere, you check out books and put them back.
I try. That's kind of like 5% of my entire month, but basically I'm more about the library serves the whole school. Mm-hmm. So
I love that idea.
How can I expand past the bookshelves and help change that kind of stigma about, oh, you just have to go to the library and read and be quiet? No. How can I go beyond ELA? So it's really easy to access the library through your ELA classes, right? We read, we practice ELA teaks. I help with research. I help with how they can cite their sources. But
let's say I'm a math teacher.
Yeah.
In what world would I be a math teacher?
I was about to be like,
let's imagine an imaginary world.
Picture, if you will.
This as a math teacher.
I don't know. I think that you could probably rock a little bit. You could be like, okay, kids. And you do like the old school flashing mathematical facts and everything.
Yeah, I sure wouldn't core math it.
No.
Because I'd confuse myself.
Yeah. But we would talk, I'm more about the real world type of situation.
Smart.
So, for example, I still do good old Scholastic Book Fair. I still do those. But I'll talk to math and I'll say, okay, so they struggle with sales tax.
Perfect.
They'll come to me and they'll say, Miss, you said this was $4.99. I said, no, 8.2.
It starts with $4.99 and then just like everything else in this world, we got to pay out more.
Yeah, like it's not just $4. Child, did you think this was nothing is easy. Welcome to the real world. Nothing is easy. Everything has its little extra hidden whatever. But that's more of my ultimate goal. So, for example, we are in quite a politically charged atmosphere.
Yep.
And
as educators, we have to stay away from that while also delivering education.
Yeah. And, the biggest problem that I experience this a lot with my middle school kiddos. They'll come to me and they'll say just something absolutely outrageous about current events, current affairs, political, just digression.
All the things.
And I'll have to say to them, where did you hear that? Well, my friend saw it on Facebook. Nope. Let's talk. Let's talk.
Miss Jess, doesn't that mean it's true?
Of course.
And okay, I back up. Because I don't think the middle schoolers saw it on Facebook. It was probably TikTok, let's be honest.
I know, I just dated myself.
Follow me on Bad Teacher Tales on TikTok.
Yeah, no, but...
Or Instagram, right?
So how can the library help us critically think? How can we identify fact from fluff? How can we I'm going to say it, I'm sorry, but how can we tell what is fake news?
Yeah, no, and I think as this society becomes more and more what it is becoming, we need those skills. And I didn't realize that not everyone learned that when in not just high school, but college. And I guess it was because my, narrow world views as a teen. I thought everyone knew or had to take some sort of class that showed them how to look at a source, like just the name of it even.
Like vet it and be like, okay, this might be...
But even like .com versus .gov or
.org.
.org or .edu, like .com, almost always can't
fully be trusted, yeah.
Yeah,
for
so...
sure.
And I hope my husband's not going to hate me for throwing him under the bus, but I had to teach him how to look at sources in this analytical way before taking your information from it.
Well, and it helps such different things. So I think the greatest tool the society needs to hone is how can we critically think and comprehend what's going on around us to the point where we can have a respectful dialogue and discourse.
Definitely.
So instead, I feel like we have too much people just stuffing up their ears and stomping their feet, and this is my opinion, and I'm sticking to it. And you miss out on so much richness if you don't have an open mind.
Right.
And so that starts in a middle school library. We can do something as simple as hosting a debate about school uniforms. And that is still a touchy topic with these guys.
It sure is.
Is that a nice way to put it?
Yes. Well, that was always the one that I would start when we did Greek debates.
Yep.
I would always start with that as my example, mostly because that's the only one I wanted to control as far as debates, because they got heated.
It got so heated. But you know what? My favorite thing, though, is if you're able to provide them with enough resources to kind of peruse and just tell them, look, I'm going to stretch you to open your mind and just picture, if you will, what this could be like. A lot of them walk away from that activity and they don't want to do it, but they're just like, okay, uniforms are okay.
And I had 1 year, it may have actually been last year, I can't remember, but where I put them in groups. It was like groups of 4 or 5, right, for debates. And they had to come up with their bullet points, basically. But before we started, of course, this is what we're debating. Who are you for or against? Blah, 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 right? So they chose which side they wanted. And then I said, okay, then you are. And I switched it on them. So it forced them.
Diabolical. I love that.
Why be a middle school teacher if you can't have fun with your students?
You have to keep them on their toes. I love that.
So it forced them to kind of, and I didn't use resources because it was Greek theater. It was all just like your own thoughts, feelings, and emotions. You could use emotions in Greek theater, but it forced them to kind of think on the other side.
Yeah.
How could I argue for this to win?
Exactly.
And all they won was a piece of candy, but that's like, that's like gold.
I mean, if you were to upgrade it to like Hot Cheetos, I wonder what would have happened.
Oh, it would have been all out war.
You would have had like blood on the ground. I don't know.
It would have been bad. Okay, so we covering ELA. We can cover math with the book fair and looking at funds and taxes and all that fun stuff. How about reaching out to your fine arts teachers? How do you support them?
Oh, those are my favorite. I might be a little biased.
I know.
I might be a little biased, but what is theater if it's not storytelling?
It originates in text.
Theater is the greatest form to continue on the oral tradition and to make it come to life in a way that causes people to interact with the text, if you will.
Yeah.
But they empathize with characters and they follow the plot and they think critically like, oh, she did it. Well, let's see
Did I train her well or not?
But that is literacy.
It is.
People
right?
think
storytelling.
Like people think literacy is reading a giant book by a fireside with a cup of tea and stuff, and that's lovely. I don't think anybody should
don't hate on that
like whatsoever. But if you can come up with ways to make the text more accessible and cause people to enjoy its richness.
Let's talk about accessible for a moment, because I think sometimes that word gets lost. Like, we understand that as educators what accessibility means.
Accommodation.
Right. Like
different type, different print.
Right. Like, for example, my daughter would not sit down and read a novel. Take the exact same novel, put it in a graphic novel, and suddenly it's accessible to her. And she needs those visual aids.
Exactly.
But then she'll still read the words.
Exactly.
Right? So accessibility is more like getting that person, that human to embrace, take in, accept, get through all the things of that text, would you say?
Yeah, and that's a lesson that I kind of walk them through the beginning of the school year. So I kind of steer into the skid. That's one of our favorite expressions. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Steer into the skid?
Steer into the skid.
Okay.
Like this
what is that?
So it's inevitable.
Oh, okay.
You already know how they're going to react. Mm-hmm. You already know their initial biases and opinions. So why not meet them where they are? Talk to them. Get to know them. Understand them.
Ding, ding, ding.
And then say, okay, so I always start these little question and answers. I always say safe space, non-judgment. We're all friends here.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
But I'll say, tell me your reading. Raise your hand if you are just all about that reading life. And then you see this.
A few of them.
There's 3 of them, but they don't want to be roused.
Well, it may be a demographic thing, because at my school I'll have a larger population that they just want to read. Like, they will stop in theater class and read. So they're probably a little more brave to put their hands up, but depending on the atmosphere in the school.
Yeah.
But that is more typical, right? Like, I like to read. I don't want to admit it.
It's a point of pride for myself, because the next question that I ask is, okay, so let's flip it. Raise your hand if you are not about that reading life. And the hands go wild. They're like, that's me, miss. You know, what am I going to say? But I don't think that it solves anything by just saying to them, well, you need to read. Get over it. Do it. Because they've heard that since kindergarten. They have heard about the vocabulary, and they have heard about the well-written skills.
It's become
rote. It's a script.
It's no longer enjoyable, or I read for the story and the fun and the creating or coming into a different world or someone's mind. It's, I'm doing this because I was told to, and I have to analyze it and think about it, and I don't. That's just,
and they have no power.
Right.
Now reading is just another chore. Like anything else that they're being told to do, let me just get this done. That's a shame.
Yeah.
So why don't we identify why a student might not want to read? Is it because of what they're trying to pick? Is it because of accessibility? Is it because of they've got some hardwiring that they're working with. A librarian can have an answer to all of that.
I love it.
If we can tailor that to their individual needs. They're not robots.
What?
I know!
You mean I can't just deliver one lesson and they all understand it and get it the first time?
Apparently not. Who knew?
Interesting.
Yeah. So, I don't like to read because I get bored. Okay, what do you like to do? I like to be active. I don't want to sit.
Maybe they like football players, and so then you go and find a biography maybe on their favorite football player, right? Something like that. Or
Yeah. Or did you know that this biography on this famous football player is also available in audiobook?
So I love audio.
You like to be that's reading. That's literacy.
Mm-hmm.
And people think that they have to have a nose in their book. You don't.
As an ELA graduate, that's my degree.
Yeah.
It took me a long time to accept that audiobooks are what I can do.
Right.
Because that's not reading. It's not flipping the pages. It's not a book. It's not sitting there with my coffee in the fireplace, or next to the fireplace.
So blessings to parents, because they probably are doing the best they can.
It took me a long time to accept the graphic novels for my daughter.
A lot of people have problems with graphic novels.
Yes, but then what finally clicked, I think, is we had a conversation about a book. She read a book that I wish I remembered, but it was like one of those common, everybody has read it at some point in their lives books that she never would have been interested in otherwise. She read it in a graphic novel and we had a conversation about it.
And that's interacting with text. That is literacy.
And nothing that I've ever been able to do with her before.
Exactly.
Because she wouldn't read.
And I think that boils back to a whole lot of things that people who work with kiddos need to remember, especially in the middle school age. We have a tendency of just jumping to getting them under our thumb. You're another brick in the wall. Do what I say. I am law. Things like that. But if someone were to come to me and hand me, my students know this, I go on a tirade about this all the time. I hate romance novels. I hate them. They're not realistic. And
you're not reading the right ones.
I'm not. I have read the right ones, but I didn't think that this was that type of podcast.
No, it's not. It's not my favorite genre either. I had to throw that in there just for funsies.
And it's fine. Our stars aligned and we saw each other across the gym and I knew that I just found love in 6th grade. And
But my best friend growing up, that was her
jam.
Cup of tea. Cup of tea and jam, right? And even then, I had judgment for her.
Yeah.
I never told her if she's listening to this, she's going to find out that, but
surprise.
I had to just accept as an adult, wait a minute, she was reading though.
Yeah. But if someone were to hand me a romance novel and be like, here, read this, I'd be like, thanks.
And analyze it and summarize it and tell me all the things about it. And
I'd be like, I don't want to do that. But why do I get to do that as a 41-year-old? Why can't we afford the same type of autonomy? Now, I'm not saying let them run the roost.
Right.
It needs to be guided. We still have standards we have to hit.
But if we give
have
them...
expectation.
Congratulations.
I did it.
You did it. But if we say, okay, even if it's down to 3 books, at least that's some choice.
Yeah.
And even then, even if it's just 3 and it's not 3 that they would choose on their own, they will feel more connected to that text because they chose it. Even if it's not something they would go to the library where they all are available and choose.
Right.
But I love that.
Yeah.
That's great. So let's recap.
Okay.
You don't do nothing all day.
I don't do nothing all day.
You don't sit with your coffee reading your favorite romance novel.
I do not. But you know what's so funny? There is an element of the job. I curate my own collection.
Yes, so you do have to.
I have to read. I have to stay on top. So people walk in and I'm just sitting there reading. I'm like, no, I'm working. I promise.
that is a good point, because
you gotta stay. Look, I'm gonna date myself, but I grew up on Laura Ingalls. I grew up on Judy Blume and Beverly Cleary and all of those. And those.
Tony Babysitter's Club.
I have the graphic novel. I know.
Okay, but I accept that choice.
But we just look. I mean, you got to keep up with the times.
Yeah. So you are finding new materials relevant to the students and today's
expectations and laws and.
Oh God! Well, let's not even get into that, because
I don't think we should.
We are in Texas. I'll just throw that out there and move on. But yes,
do your research, people.
But the point is that you sitting, even if you are sitting with your coffee and reading, it is part of your job, because you are looking for new material to accept and adapt into your library and to order copies of. And
I mean, the coffee is for safety for everybody.
I mean, that's fair.
Yeah. So that's
we don't do Jess without coffee. Exactly.
Cheers.
So with that, thank you, Jess, for being here today.
Thanks for having me.
This has been a great conversation, really insightful.
I had a lot of fun.
And we are going to have more with Jess. We're going to have some more, some fun stuff, some digging into some, stuff that happened, some stories for upcoming episodes. So tune back in if you enjoyed our conversation. And I do want to make sure I take the time to give a shout out to our new sponsors and supporters. That will be Jimmy and David and Glenn are our new supporters, all men, which I find a little incredible.
Wow. Cheers. Props to that.
Yes. But if you would like to support this, support us, support Sly and I and Bad Teacher Tales, get more content, more stories, you have several different ways. You can submit a story that we will read. I'll read, and Sly and I will talk about and comment on. Everything is anonymous. We are not interested in only teacher stories. We are open to librarians and custodians and
lunch ladies.
I really want.
I want a lunch lady story.
Both custodians and lunch ladies. These are my goals.
Those would be the real deal. Honest.
Getting into the shit of things.
Nice.
Pun intended with the custodians, because I've heard some stories.
I have a radio. They gave me a radio.
Yeah. I
pray for them.
Pause for next episode. Coming soon.
Yep.
Radio talk.
Oh, yeah.
I bet that's interesting.
It is eye-opening, and it really goes a long way towards alleviating some assumptions about the inner workings of the school. It
and
gives
admin and what they do all day.
A lot of perspective.
I mean, I know I do not have the. Help me with the word here. I was going to say constitution. I feel like that's not the right word. I could never be an admin.
Constitution works.
Okay, good. Thank you.
You did that.
I just could not. And I know enough about admin, I could not. But I digress. That's a story and topic for another day.
You just have to have me back.
I guess so.
I know. See?
Smart girl. And so another way to support, of course, is Patreon, through BuzzFeed, through PayPal in the notes. Just, one-time donation, a subscriber, $5 here and there. Every little thing counts towards my overheads and pushing this out further and getting people's story out. And just, the general public, I would like them to know what happens in education, what we deal with.
It's one of those you just don't know until you know.
You just don't know.
And then you know, and you're like, that's not real.
We should be paying teachers $1 million a year. Yes, we should.
Wouldn't hurt. Wouldn't mind it.
But thank you. Please hit all of those buttons that everyone tells you to hit. Subscribe, like, share, and see you on next episode. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for joining today's episode of Bad Teacher Tales. If we made your day slightly better, or your job seemed slightly less absurd, hit like, share, and subscribe. Your support keeps us caffeinated and somewhat functional. Want to share your story anonymously? The link in the notes is open 24/7, something your planning period can only dream of. Just kidding, those don't exist. Stories from all corners of education are welcome. Anyone who witnesses the madness and magic, we want your tales. Follow us on Instagram and TikTok at Bad Teacher Tales to drop your tales, memes, and coping strategies. Got suggestions, comments, questions, or topic ideas? Email us anytime at badteachertales@gmail.com. Unlike Teachers on Fridays, we actually read them. See you again soon. Try not to quit before then.